Hi guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, connect, dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork, oracle cards, all that stuff you can find in the description below this video. If you would like anything with my artwork involved, Allylatcreations211.com is where you can go to check out the stuff, and I will be updating, hopefully in the next few days, some newer stuff that I've been working on. Hi, everybody. We're doing a book review today because I finally finished this fantastic book, and holy crap, we need to talk about it. Big time. Let's see if the camera will be nice to me today. And I have to adjust my sidearm here. Fun times. I'm going to preach this book to the cows come home, the pigs fly, the unicorns are alive, and whatever I've Bigfoot is seen more. This is such an important book. Why? I've been talking about it, but this, just like when I found the Stargate map I have right there on my wall, it unleashed what my purpose was when I was a kid, why I made sense out of why I saw what I saw, why I was making claims where I was making claims. Like someone like me, a lot of things are intangible evidence, meaning you can't see the things that I could see, or those who have the knowing, the know-how, have an easier time believing me, whereas someone with a logical and rational mind but doesn't look abstractly won't, like, she's crazy. But I'm not. I just happen to have a higher awareness of the different densities and dimensions that we all inhibit. And this makes sense out of some of the things that I've made claims on. When you are in this expansion, a lot of people are expanding and finding different components of themselves. They're making connections. You're like, well, I didn't know that was me, or I didn't know that was a part of me, or whatever have you. When I say you are source, source is you, and everybody and everything, there's a valid reason for that. We are one. You're individuated to have experience. And in this book, it's taking you through different lifetimes that's being experienced from a higher density perspective, fourth density, fifth density, and they're coming back down to third in their earth lives and reliving some of those lives to see a pattern and a cycle that needs to change in order to shift the timeline moving forward for the same entity, but for the individual fractals that are living other lives. It's changing the game. And this is showing you what is happening to some of us now in this paradigm. I said it in other videos. I started with the starseed. I knew about my past lives because I was dreaming about it since I was a little kid. So I was many different things, many different types of peoples, places, things. I recall a lot of being a healer, a medicine person, a shaman, Valkyrie, Viking. I remember my Titan life as Freya. There's a lot of things that have been in streaming since this book. This book is going to help you get it. in a fictitious but literally real way. The stories might be made up, possibly, but I understood my past lives. It wasn't until maybe like 6, 7 years ago I started on the starseed journey. Like, I'm not from here. I don't feel like I'm home. That resonated with me my whole life. And when more people started coming out and talking about star seeds, I was like on that bandwagon. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not from here. Not realizing that that isn't completely, utterly true. This is home. My body is home. I'm on Earth. Home is with Source. Source is here. Source is everything. Um, home is where your heart is. Right now, it's here. So you're home. You have other lives being lived in other dimensions on other planets. Read the book. But it also talks about the higher density beings. And what was funny, what started making sense to me was when I was told that I had like lived 28,000 and some change lives, when most normal humans that have an old soul had maybe lived 11, 10,000. I'm like, okay, I that's a lot of lives and a lot of cycles in between all of that. And something was resonating within me to, as I was reading the book, well, you have a shit ton of guides. Why? Here's how I'm changing the mindset and asking myself the questions so I can answer them. Why do I have so many guides? Why does, when I go to a medium, they pick up that I have a ton of spirit guides? It's because it's a culmination of a bunch of entities that I once was, now guiding me from a higher perspective and a higher degree of knowledge that they walked through and experienced, knowing that I was going to be coming down as the representative of the oversoul, all the fractals of myself. I was coming down here to readjust time, space, frequency, and vibration here. I was the one volunteered. And they're all helping me, guide me through all. This is where this book makes a lot of sense. All of our ancestral cycles, things we're not so proud of, things that we are carrying in each life, whether it be abandonment, whether it be not loving yourself, whether it be addiction or negative stuff that has been cycled through each and every one of the lives you've lived. And you can't just, you came here to abolish that. You're the game changer. You're changing it all. You're just not aware of it. Instead of coming out of fear, you're seeing life now. Hopefully, those of you who are really trying to upgrade, you're moving through love instead of fear. You're coming from a place of love instead of fear. You're not negatively self-talking to yourself anymore and saying you're a loser, you're ignorant, you're this, you're that, because the world is not conforming to the rules of your mind. You are creating those amazing things that society and the people that are stuck in the loop, you already are past that. You're breaking cycles. You're seeing beyond what society has tried to entrap you in. And you're like, fuck you, I'm not doing this trap shit no more. And it's not to say that you reincarnate in a trap and you're trapped here. No, you're bound by your ancestors for experience. And all collectively, all the people that you were is now being reabsorbed into you right now. So you're going to have some funky wonky dreams. You're going to feel like you're doing something and you have an affinity for a place that you never had an affinity for. That's because you were once living there, or you had an incident there. All these things start making sense to you when you start reading this book. I can't tell you how many times I cried, like, did one of those, and upstairs is like, oh yeah, hi. You're right when you talk. You're not crazy. You're not steering people in the wrong direction, Allison. Like, this book is, a lot of it feels like it's me, but it's not me. But I understand it. I merged with the characters in this book. I understood a bigger, complete picture of whatever whatever awareness I still have here on 3D. I'm looking at these characters as if it's me. It resonated with me so much in my heart space. It made me cry. That's how good this book is. And I don't believe that everybody is at the level of awareness that I am at, and that's okay. You will get there. I've been working very hard on this stuff since I was a little kid. I've been trying to heal myself, and that's a forever process. I always say that. When I read, hello, look at all the books behind me. When I read something that makes me cry in resonation, in alignment, I can't keep that to myself. I like to share my knowledge. I don't like to keep it for myself. To what benefit does that hold? I'm a surface to source. This is all the pages that I marked down with things that I found exquisite and that resonated so highly with me. I'm going to find some. I think this is one of them. When I'm talking about love, listen to this. Quote, at my death, the only thing that I had left was love itself. Love for something greater than the material world. Love for an ideal. I had sacrificed myself as a symbol of the love I held for the ways of my people. It took a lifetime of service to achieve it, but I can now give you a love that is transpersonal and beyond human emotions. This love is an energy field and a beam of power. Take this gift from me and hold it in your heart. This was a Native American that is the character, an aspect of the character, a fractal of the character that was during our Native American era here, nations people, sorry if I offend anybody. And this higher portion of herself is on a higher dimension and is helping her relive that lifetime to see, feel, and understand the blocks she might have had and a trauma that needed to be healed. She's the one to do it. We are the ones to heal all of it, the smackdown, the entirety of all of us, what our energy is made up. We are literally healing the aspects of source that's within us. All the fractals that we have ever lived, all the people, entities, we're healing them. We're going to remember. Everybody claims it's a great awakening. For me, it's a great remembering, because we are remembering, we're coming back to the source that we are. And it's going to be a slow rollout. Don't think it's all going to come in a snap and I'm going to remember 28,000 lives plus. I would humanly combust if that was the case. I'm only being shown and being given the lives that impact me now. The ancestral karma, the ties, the cycles, the things that myself have cycled through, like a washing machine. Like I'm putting a stop, I'm kicking the machine, and now it's gonna finally end the cycle. We're all at the end of this cycle. Those of us who are moving forward, we're at the end. This book is vital to read and understand. It's only 300 and something pages. I know it's a lot for a lot of people, but it reads easy. It reads really easy. Okay. And I hope Suzanne Lai, I am trying to pitch your book. Please don't slaughter me in the butcher house, please. Your work is very important, and I just got this book. Please support her, buy her books. This is incredible stuff. Quote, about you is every third dimensional existence that you have had, are now having, or will have upon the planet Earth. She heard the united voice of the three, her higher selves, being your journey here. Abruptly, the lake disappeared, and Stature saw herself in a huge stadium filled with people. These people are all you in your mirage third dimensional Earth realities. Feel the life force of each of them. Imagine the bottom of the stadium represents the ancient times, and the top of the stadium represents the dawning of the year 2000 AD. From your omni location of oneness, you could choose any seat in the stadium to experience a particular reality. You may notice that even though you are aware of all of these people, they only are aware of themselves and the life in which they are absorbed. You have achieved multidimensional consciousness, and they have not. That made me cry, because I feel the very same way, that this metamorphosis of this being that is fiction is me, and is many of you. Like I feel like spirit is here with me right now, like trying to make me cry. It's just truth. When I go into my mind and I'm picturing a city, I'm not just seeing myself in the city. Let's just say I'm going back home to New York. I'm envisioning everything moving succinctly. People run up and down, but I'm those people. I'm the trees. I'm the everything. Like I see myself in that, having different experiences through other lenses. It's heavy and it's an insane feeling, but I'm not the only one that has had these experiences. I'm very aware of the multidimensionality of my soul, the infinitude of my soul. I've embodied it. I've understood, taken in, and living it. Of course, as a human, we have a veil and we forget. I came in with a small veil because I can't see everything there. I wouldn't have a purpose here if I didn't have a veil. I wouldn't learn anything if I didn't have a veil. Neither would anybody else. If you come in knowing all your lives, what is your purpose to serve here? What are you learning? What are you gaining? A blip on the map? Nothing. We need to have the veil. It helps us understand and grow and learn and go through experience and gain the wisdom. But some of us come in with limited veil, small portion of it's there, because we're here to show and help other people. You are a way shower. Your abilities, what you bring to the table of humanity, is what's going to help us shift humanity together. Because in that stadium, we are all one, and we can take any one of those people and seats and live that life and experience it fully. But those individuated parts of you are not aware of you. They're only aware of self. And when you can expand yourself and understanding you are just having a unique experience, but you are everybody and everything, you drop the emotional states to good and bad. It's not needed, because you need, in this book, they go through a very wicked, horrible life that she had to go through in order to gain experience and learn from. And at the tail end, there's a twist plot in there that is up. But it gives you a reason why certain people have to reincarnate in different circumstances, and why you have to put your foot down in certain ways and stand your ground to cut the cord to the cycle that you were in lifetime after lifetime, whether it be with a person, place, or thing. You know, as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my relationship and like, why am I serving them, the Viking and the girls? Like, I always ask the deeper questions of other people's situations, like, why did the girls sign up for their situation? What is their learning? What is it that they need to gain and cut the cords to and to heal? They're not old enough to answer those questions just yet, because they haven't really lived a full life and they haven't really had too much experience, but they do have an understanding and a knowing somewhere deep in them. All of us do. It's a matter of finding it, plucking it. When you read books like this, it helps you get your syncs, spirit syncs, connect the dots, epiphanies. It helps you recognize, well, if I was this character, maybe different circumstances, how can I go back and heal that life? What approach do I need to take and change that emotional state and recapitulate and revise your life? Neville Goddard talks about the recapitulation. So does Carlos Castaneda. They don't say it in those ways, but it's revising your day. It's revising your past lives. If you can recall them, did you do things out of a love space? Even if you murdered somebody, did it come from a place of love, that it was defending yourself? What were you fearing in the moment that you had to do something to somebody? Did it come from love or did it come from fear? And that's a question that only you can answer for yourself. I know for myself, the same cycles this character went through is the same ones that I'm trying to deal with in this life. Abandonment, because I was legitimately abandoned at birth. I was put for adoption, but I was taken away from a bond that was never replaceable. You're quantum entangled with your parents. I'm quantum entangled to my birth mother, but I never got to be held by her. She never put me on her heart. I never had that sync. So that's something that lacks, that formed in this life as abandonment. And I had to go and heal that. So it wasn't my fault. I was born that way. I signed up for it, and my mom signed up for that experience. It's understanding, it's just the experience that I can't get myself down tied to. And genetically, I'm always going to be a part of her. So why do I feel abandoned? Moot point, move on. But also in death, sometimes we feel abandoned because somebody didn't complete what we think their mission, and we feel left behind. You could feel abandonment in so many ways. You have to find where the healing begins. I chose this life to end a lot of cycles, and that is one cycle I am still currently working on, is the abandonment issue. It's a heavy topic, but it's affected my life in a detrimental way growing up. I never felt a part of anybody or anything. I've always felt like I needed to be alone. Why? Because abandonment was something that happened to me at birth. Not feeling a mother's touch, whether she was a good mother or a bad mother, it doesn't matter. When you're not getting physical touch at birth and a connection, you're going to feel that way, I would assume. I'm a living proof. It's crazy to think about the things and the cycles that we are really unconsciously aware of that are running our lives. Why do you have anxiety? Why do you fear everything? Why are you so critical on everybody else? They're you. Why are you judging other people? They're you. Remember, that stadium is everybody that is you. We all have bits and pieces of each other in us. Just something to think about. It's not an easy concept, but they laid it out. She laid it, Suzanne laid it out for you in that beautiful written portion of that paragraph. Gosh, my mind. Here's another amazing quote. Ah, yes. Feel the familiarity of the fifth dimension. Is it not clear? As you pull yourself into this lake, you could see that it is filled with thousands of crystals that hold the divine blueprint for the realities also existing on the third and fourth dimensions. Some of these crystals float in the liquid light and others rest upon the lake floor. Since the fifth dimension exists in the eternal now, there's no time space, their location does not represent their time nor space. The crystals that are floating represent the realities in which you are a space traveler. The grounded ones represent the realities in which you are bound to one planet, Yes, there are many floating crystals. However, you must realize this experience, or you will not be able to continue your journey. Find the waterfall again and stand into the flow. So this next part gets a little confusing, but I've experienced this exact thing a little differently. I didn't do the waterfall scenario. I did a dragon journey. Quote, as the waterfall rises your vibration to the sixth dimension, you feel less familiar with the experience. When you first ventured down from the source, the glimmer of a group identity began to enter your consciousness. And here, the archetypes of the lower planes were born. Here, you live in group consciousness. You have a sense of yourself as with the inkling of individuality, a component of your archetypical energy. That right there is a social memory complex. So when Ra and Quo, Latui, Latan, Hatan are being channeled, Elmira, and many others that are group consciousness, that's a social memory complex. That's what that's describing. They are individualized, but they group think. It's not hive mind. They're not controlled. They take, so it's like I've explained it before. My friend Dina, that lives 5 minutes away, has a recipe for some slamming ass awesome pot roast that I'm just stuck. I don't really know what I want. And I want her recipe. All I got to do is like telepathically, hey, Dina, do you got that recipe? And it floats and it hits my consciousness. And here it is. I share the information that's with her. We're like-minded. This is a social unity consciousness that we are moving into. That's why we're finding a lot of people with like minds. We think differently. We have different perspective. We have different perceptions and interpretations of things. We absolutely do. But we have enough similarities and commonalities that we can work together to get a direct message out. And we see a lot of people are falling out of those groups. Some people are just like, that's not my jive no more. I was in that jive. Now it's not my jive. They're going to be, we're a big tree. Some people make up the roots. Some people make up the trunk. Some people make up the branches and then the leaves. And that's forever growing, molding, and shifting. Sometimes a windstorm happens and one of your limbs falls down. This is life. This is how we are evolving. We're not all going to agree on the same thing. You know, I listen to other spiritual people and other people with abilities. What one gets is not what I get. Doesn't make them wrong or right. It's just what they're picking up from. What timeline, what dimension, what reality are they seeing? That's what you just need to question. It's not if they're wrong, it's a timeline they're picking up on. If they're making predictions. Some stuff is solid. You can't change it because it's what we all wrote collectively. But when we're talking future stuff, we could shift it. It's already written, but we could shift to get there. I know, it's confusing. But that's really a social memory complex. And that is the portion of the book when I was watching that Marianne, I think her name, Anne-Marie, sorry, on the channel that I'm going to appear on tomorrow, Woman of the Stars, she sounded just like me. The things that were coming out of her mouth, I was like jaw dropped. Like, you're talking as if you're me. No. We're talking from the same consciousness that we belong to as a social memory complex. That's where we're plucking our information from. We're a part of a social memory. I am a part of the same social construct as that woman. Don't know her from a hole in the wall, but she sounds just like me. She actually channeled Ra. And it sounds just like LL Research's channelings of Ra. These are things that we're going to start, these events, these epiphanies, these happenings are going to continuously start happening on a more frequent basis as the plasma light is radiating on us and changing us and expanding our minds. And this book gave me so much, it's tangible evidence in terms of somebody wrote it down. Someone put my story without it being direct in a book. It's mind-blowing. This part, quote, from here, imagine your omnidirectional perception as you live in the oneness. You are a drop of water, and you share your experience with every other drop. Feel the complete unity of all that is. So a while back, I talked about an hourglass and how we're one grain of sand in that big, large hourglass. We start at the top, and then our little grain starts moving down and down with the other grains, and we get to the 0 point, and then we fall back down. So we start up and we're down. Now that's going to be flipped, but think of it replaying in reverse. We're going up And our individual sand grain is a part of the whole entire glass. They're just making the water analogy. I see it as glass, as a piece of sand in an infinitude of source. When Terry and Jonathan took me through meditation to source to find my energy signature, it was in a vast infinitude of liquid gold. And I had to go swim to find myself. And then it saw all the other energy around me, and that's all my soul tribe, family, and people that are me. And then I saw how we individuated out of that pool. We were androgynous. We didn't have male or female aspect just yet. As we densified, we started merging different male and a female aspect. And then we were the archangel. We were the higher density beings that are our spirit guides. They're us. Just different aspects of us. Different entities also merging with that fractal to have an experience. It's very complicated. That's why I could say I'm an archangel incarnate, because I know it runs through me. I know what I'm channeling. And it's not one necessary entity. It is a shit ton. I'm not alone. This is not just my experience. I'm just aware of it. That's what makes me different from other people. I'm aware, I could see, I'm getting validated. When you start opening up to those potentialities and those possibilities, you're going to start understanding the components of how reality works. This one reality. There are millions of them. But this one, we're all stuck in together. You'll start seeing a bigger and a bigger and a bigger picture. Your awareness will start rising. Your other selves are going to start coming into you and implanting themselves in home. This is home. It's not outside of yourself. It's not in a faraway universe. You are already there and living a life there. You're everywhere. You are one with the source. This just gives you a very detailed analysis of the process after third density, third dimension, how you're walking the stair steps, how you're going back and reviewing your life to heal it. And your higher selves are coming down and giving you advice and wisdom. And if you are a closed vessel, not accepting these potentials and these possibilities, you're closing yourself to healing. There's always a way to open. It's up to you to figure that out and what you need to heal. I said healing is a forever thing. You never stop healing. And you could see throughout the progression of this book, it's continuously healing on all dimensions and densities that she visits. And her other selves. And I don't want to give too much away about the ending of this book, but it's pretty traumatic. And it really spells out how I see how I came into being as a human. It's powerful. Why I chose all of this. It's powerful. It's healing. Very healing. This is another big concept in here that resonated a lot of that with me. Quote, I was able to return to the oversoul to transmute my energies into a higher dimensional life form. I will share with you part of my experience with the Oversoul. Join me fully in this experience, but realize that each personal ego that has released itself from the bounds of third dimensional limitation and separation may have a different perspective of this same occurrence. We have chosen to incarnate again and again for two reasons. One, we have volunteered to continue the physical incarnation until the time of the great change at the close of the great cycle. Here we are, which is the time space that you will re-enter. Two, each experience of incarnation brings a greater depth to the Oversoul, which is also Source. You too have a multidimensional consciousness that echoes many octaves above your current perspective. Sounds like me, kind of. Worship is for those who seek to find outside themselves what is already theirs in the oneness of all life. They spoke telepathically as one being. If you decide to enter the vortex, you will be reabsorbed into that oneness. You are permitted no questions, as all answers must be found inside yourself, inside the doorway to the one. That left me speechless. Because I talk about octaves all the time, and people are like, hey, this girl's nuts. Nothing is outside of you. It's all inside. It's in your soul. You're just having a human experience. Your soul is so grander and infinite. It is expansive. Why do we keep limiting ourselves to that understanding? Because you're having a human experience, but when you detach from your human experience and see the vastness of what you are, it is gorgeous. You're just here in this vehicle having an experience. We're here to grow and evolve our souls. It's what Earth School is about. And this book takes you through that evolutionary journey of going back and healing, going back and just, even if it's just this life that you are consciously aware of, that you're going back in time into an event that happened to you that really hits home, that you're traumatized by. And you deal with it through love and not fear. You recapitulate, revise that experience and coming through it with love. You got to love yourself first in a big totality sense to understand what that really means. We were never trapped here. I know a lot of people say that there's a death trap on the moon and stuff of that nature. It's not my paradigm. Sorry, I'm still under the weather, guys. We need to realize that there are people who believe that trap and that we're probably entrapped in that thing. It's not me. I don't resonate with that. My heart does not align with that. I'm not saying it's a right or wrong concept. I don't think anything is right or wrong. It's what you personally experienced, and all of us have oversouls who have had plenty of experiences. We play a lot of characters. It is a movie. It's a hologram. She goes into that as well. It's a hologram. when we figure that out for ourselves and really embody that knowing, you're going to not attach your emotional state to things that don't warrant your energy. You're going to live a fuller and more purposeful life. You're going to go with the ebb and flow of experience because that's what you signed up to do, because you need that experience. This book opened up a floodgate of stuff I couldn't really put to words, and I was just expressing and talking out of my butt sometimes, not knowing if it was something that I was making up in my imagination or if that was real. And this book really made a lot of sense, easy to read. It's insane. I really usher those of you who are interested in getting this book to read it, absorb it, apply what the character is going through in each and every one of the lives that the author wrote. Walk yourself through for yourself. Use the knowledge in this book to walk yourself through your other lives to heal them. If you're aware of them. Now, if you're not, don't get discouraged. You will eventually find your memories coming online. And instead of being fearful of them, detach emotionally and go heal out of love. Understand the lessons that were imparted in those lives. Every life has a lesson. Some of the lives we've lived were horrible ones. Some of them were amazing. All for experience. When you see the cycles, when you understand the healing that needs to occur in this life, you start emerging consciously. You become more aware. You then start becoming your multidimensional self because you're aware of them. And when more and more people can do this, we will be able to manifest the future and the prosperity for all. But too many people, just be aware. Source knows all, and so does the quantum system. So if you think you're going to weasel your way through things, if you think where your intentions are, your judgments on other people are really going to, get you far away in this life, you're going to be very heavily surprised that you won't. You need to come from an authentic love, unconditionally, place and vibratory state in your vehicle. If you hate, shame, judge, guess what? I'm not playing the executioner, judge, or jury in this lifetime. It's not my job, not my role. Let those expressions of source deal with it. That's their job. That's their mission here on earth. My mission is very, very, very different. And many of you are in the same boat. You're not here to judge other people and other expressions of source. You serve a purpose. Serve it. Start finding what that purpose is. And there, it's not just one purpose. Sorry to say that. Everybody was like, where's my purpose? You got multiple purposes and you have multiple missions. Stop limiting yourself. A lot of people doubt and limit themselves. I did the same thing. Because I was programmed, I was told, indoctrinated, I'm not enough, I'm stupid, I'm ignorant. You can't possibly do that. And my attitude always was, fuck you, I'm going to show you. Are you that? It's an interesting time that we're living in. And it's one that we need to start detaching emotionally from. It's not going to serve you to feed energy to the other side. because that other side is you. Once you can embody that understanding that everybody serves a purpose and everybody has a role here, and that's to help with the level of awareness that you have, we wrote this story. We need to learn from the wrongs objectively. But too many people put their emotional states into things, which gets them attached, which gets them stuck. As we're watching the world crumble and burn before us, where do you sit on this side of history? Are you forming and forging what our forefathers did? They were in the midst of war and hell and dominion. And they took the time to focus on what everybody should use, need, and grant freedom from. True freedom is being absolutely free. That's when you're back with Source. Are you trying to obtain that? Or are you running away from it? Talking about emotions. Yes, emotions are a constant challenge while in the astral and physical worlds. When we have learned to call on love to ease our fear, we will balance the polarities of the third and fourth dimensions. Once the polarities are balanced, all judgments of good and evil can be released and mistakes can become lessons. Earth offers a great opportunity for the experience, end quote. Well, I'm a little bit of ahead of the curve with the divine neutrality. Just a smidgen. But that is only because I'm here to help those who are interested in moving forward and healing and understanding yourselves on a deeper level. And no, I am not a counselor. I am not a psychotherapist. I am not a therapist of any sort. I just have ancient wisdom within me that I'm able to channel. I don't have a fancy school degree. I do. I have an art one. We are, quote, we are all seeds of a flower that fall from the safety of home onto the earth so that we can learn to be flowers ourselves. Yes, and the time-space continuum of third dimension allows the flower to learn effect of its thoughts, emotions, and actions. Action and reaction are very slow in third dimension, so that it is easier to learn. Here is the fifth dimension. The result of one's thoughts and emotions are instant, added the guide. Since we are living in oneness here, every thought and feeling can be felt by all. We would never have a harmful thought or action against another because there is no separation between us. Anything we do to another, we also do to ourselves. End quote. So I must be living on fifth dimension consciously. Because this is the understanding that I've been getting. That's validation right there. That book confirms everything I've been saying. Going into divine neutrality, not judging anybody anymore. Everybody has a unique expression of source running through them. Who the hell am I to judge? That's source's job to do, not mine. When you see beyond good and evil, when you can see that everybody is source, do you see that when you are in a certain state of emotion, Your field does affect other people. When you walk into a room, you're at a party. Are you the life of the party? Is everybody coming over to you? Hey, here's a glass of wine. Or are you that schlub, just reserved, looking around, analyzing, and no one's coming up to you because your vibe is shit? And when you are the one on the couch observing who's walking into the room, you could sense if somebody's having a bad day or if someone's bringing like the life to the party. You could see that, feel it, emote it. What are you bringing to humanity's table? Are you the light entering the darkness, or are you the darkness that needs the light to shine on them to wake up? Are you coming and walking into your awareness? Are you aware? These are the things that we need to start focusing on, start learning, start involving in moving ourselves into this direction. All this outside stuff is just material. It's a hologram. That's all it is. Stop taking everything personal. Change your mindsets. Start loving yourself. Start evolving. Start arising in your empowerment. And understand that your power has been taken away from you. Not because some evil dark lord in another system is dictating that, and that's the story we're all playing out. See it as we're at the climax of a movie that we've already played the role and many thousands of other roles. We are the stand-ins. Now it's our time to be the stars of this movie. Are you going to rise to the occasion and remember your lines and remember how to act figuratively and literally? Are you moving along? Are you seeing that suffering is just a way of learning? Do you understand when you come from love, you're not judging anyone? And that's hard to do in a relationship, with a marriage, with kids, because you're emotionally tied to these people, places, and things. But what happens if you still give them love, but you detach a bit and you see a bigger picture of why they're in your life? What are they trying to teach you? What is the lesson you need to impart on them? It's not always about you. Think about those things. This book is incredible, and I hope that more people start reading it, learning from it, grasping it, understanding it, because it's huge. This is huge. This really validated. I sat in tears. My jaw dropped a bunch of times reading some of those quotes that I was reading before. There's so many here. Just in tears, real tears of joy, of communing with myself, understanding that this story is no different from my own. That I'm here with a purpose and I'm worthy of that purpose. I am here to be a way shower. I am here to change the fucking game so we can all get out of it and move forward. I came back to help everybody. I could have stayed in fifth, sixth dimension, happy, floating in my light body, battling as an archangel with my sword or my pew-pew, having fun, being free, literally light, not being bound by dense material shit. But I chose to come back because of the love that I have for everybody. Immensely by the love I have for myself that I had to find. It's not easy when you don't love yourself and you abuse your body and you do some stupid shit, all in learning. But I'm glad that I have finally come into the understanding, the knowing, the embodiment that I do love myself. And it was all worth it. And I would never go back to change a damn thing. I don't regret nothing, because all was an experience and all is needed. For me to have learned what I have learned and traversed what I have traversed. And my story is nowhere near over. Nowhere near over. I have a lot to go and a lot more to learn. I just have newer eyes and a newer way of thinking to see it and to absorb it and to release it and be the master that I was always meant to be. Alchemically, that is, mentally. So guys, I don't know how much more I could say, because I've been talking about this book forever. It's not a bad read. It's quick. I zapped through this. The stories are fantastic in here. What you can apply from this book to yourself is invaluable. You can't put a value on what you learn in this book and apply it to yourself. Everybody's going to interpret this book differently. Everybody's going to perceive some of the lessons a little differently from myself, but that's okay. It's a big eye-opening perspective book. It's giving you higher density information. And I think this is worthy of the buy and the read. I got this on Amazon. I'm going to leave the links in the description so you can find it. There are some versions of this book that are way too expensive, but if you go to the author's links or find the author herself, the books will be at cost. It's not that expensive. The next book I'm reading from her, from Visions, Venus, a multi-dimensional love story, love beyond all boundaries. I think this might have been the first book that led to this one. Maybe. I don't know. But if you're a starseed, you're going to resonate with this. Even if you're not, get ready. There's a lot of spacey shit in there too. So I can't wait to get this book read. And I just bought another one of her books. She does a lot of reading, a lot of writing on Palladians and Arcturians and other density beings, but this is gold. So I'm hoping this is just as good, a little thinner, but Reconstructing Reality. Please read it. Thank you to Linda Good McGillis and Alexander Quinn for talking about the book. Just that end part about the stadium they mentioned, and I was hooked. Even I listen to other people. I always listen. I go in my heart space, and I hope all of you are going in that heart space more and more, and learning and rising to the occasions of life. Someone's thinking about me. I hope all of you have a blessed weekend upcoming. Please be safe, be seen. Sending you each light, love, compassion, grace, shielding, and protection energy. I can't stress this enough. That book opened up my paradigm and solidified a lot of things, and I don't have to start doubting anymore. I hope this book does the same thing for you. And even if you're not there consciously yet, it's going to help you connect dots. It's going to help you start healing. Whatever it starts to, for you, it's a starting point. And there's no perfect place to start. Start today. Love yourself. And do the work. We need you on Team Amazing, Team Source Positive Polarity. We need all of you. Are you ready? Step into your new life. And until the next one, guys, please be safe, be seen. I did not appear on Jack Breaks Out today because Jack wasn't feeling good. He called me super early this morning and apologetic like crazy. And I'm like, dude, it's fine. So I'm going to be on Jack Breaks Out next Friday, I think 3 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow I'm going to be on Woman of the Stars with Cosmic Mama. And Monday I should be on Higher Viewpoint with Bruce Poppy, talking about Mindful Monday fun stuff. So things are picking up for me. I'm really excited. I can't wait to express this information to a more massive whole to people. I think it's very, very vital that we start this right now. But divine timing, not my friend. But until the next time, guys, I love you all. And thank you so much for supporting my channel and finding me and this message. Till the next one, guys.